So after stopping in Sarasota at Oak and Stone's Artisan Pizza, we ended up at Tampa Bay, Florida's infamous Busch Gardens. Now I can tell you as someone who's lived in Florida my whole life that, Busch Gardens is a cool experience, but it's not something you need to do multiple times a year unless you're like a roller coaster junkie. Cards on the table, this is the only reason I ever step foot in Busch Gardens anymore. I've been going to this event on and off for the last 15 years or so. For the last 5, I've been pretty consecutive except for last year when they announced they weren't doing houses and only scare zones. I wasn't driving 2.5 hours and paying $40 to walk around and someone pop out of bush and go, ah! See, here's a map of last year's event when the pandemic was in full swing. There was no houses, as you can see. It's only scare zones here. And every year they kind of use the same stuff. There's always something about werewolves or lichens. The shortcut was new, but we had it again this year. The Escape, they reused the bus for a new house this year. The Junkyard's been around once or twice. First Fear, never saw that one, don't remember what it's about. Little Nightmares was there this year. Maniac Midway's been there a year or two before. Deadly Toys was there this year. Never saw Hell on Wheels, but if I remember correctly, I think it was like kind of Mad Max style. And Dias de la Muertes. So that one we've seen before. But as you see, this was the park. You were literally going to pay $50 to walk in around the entrance, do like a 1.5 mile, maybe 2-mile lap around this place, to be yelled at in foggy clouds, and leave. Now, again, if you're a park goer and you like the roller coasters and you're there for like drinks and the vibe, that might have been chill. That's kind of like a Scream park. But for me, it's about the houses, and I couldn't do it. Driving for nothing. So I did not go last year, but it definitely seems like I would have been disappointed because the scare zones, they get me sometimes, but they're kind of weak. They also had Fiends, which is good. I don't like the outside showing of Fiends. It's already hot enough in Florida. Going to the Fiends show is a way to cool off, but let's get into that later. Like always, if you buy a ticket to the Howl-O-Scream event, you can get into the park as early as 5:30, which gives you time to set up at the house you want to go to if there's a new house you want to see. You can grab some food usually, or you can ride a few rides. My group decided they wanted to ride some rides. This was actually the first Scares on Voodoo, and that's the ride my group wanted to go on. I stayed off because I would have gotten sick. There were no paper maps this year, which I found kind of shocking, but I understand. Paper, everyone's touching it, it's a way to spread COVID, I get that. Even though they are fun little free souvenirs, it's probably better for the environment that we don't print thousands of paper maps that end up getting thrown away at the end of the night. Instead, they had really large map posters up everywhere, and they had QR codes you could scan for your phone, which, technologically advanced, I'll give them that. From this point on, I'm just going to let you enjoy some of the scare zones, then I'll talk a bit more. Wow. That's pretty cool. That's a huge boy. Get that leaf. Right there. Right there.
Right there.
Yeah. Yeah, they have actual drafts here, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Little Nightmares, that's what it is.
Oh, yeah, no wonder I saw a bunch of little people.
Nobody. Look, they're way over there. Deadly Toys. Oh. So right off the bat, scare zones were not bad, but of course they'd be better in the dark, and they were once the sun finally went down. Here we're at the entrance to the first house called The Residence. It was released in 2019 if I remember correctly. It's nothing to freak out about. Essentially it's like a neighborhood that is hiding a dark secret, like dark occult magics, murders, stuff like that. Just supposed to be like a scary neighborhood. It wasn't bad. It's been different houses in the past, but they always have a house back here near the Dino Time Express roller coaster. One thing I will give Howloscream is they do take attention to detail when it matters, like right here. This was some great puns and I really enjoyed it. Now, I will say I'm not sure if it's due to the fact that they didn't have houses last year and they had to set up the audio different for all the scare zones, but there's a creepy music playing throughout the entire park, which helps you keep the theme alive, because in the past it's been, once you break away from a scare zone, you would just have dark Busch Gardens, and it smells like animal poop, and you hear a little bit of chatter of people walking by, and there's nothing really scary about it. So I think keeping the music going and keeping the ambience alive was very helpful, and I do appreciate that this year. Crash Test Zombies. Crash Test Zombies. That's pretty cool. See, here's one of those maps I was talking about where the QR code's in the left corner and it was really, really big. Yeah, you gotta scan it. I got it. Yeah, the QR code brings it up on your phone. I got it on my phone now. Yeah, they close them at night. You fall off and you'll die. They're not gonna find you. So this was a new scare zone this year. This was called the Skeleton Crew, and they always do something with pirates. They had this house for a while called the Black Spot. When they weren't using the Black Spot, we've got now the Skeleton Crew, which I will give them credit. They fogged this area out and it was hard to see through. Smells like a hospital over here.
Yeah, it smells like 2 south in the morning.
It really does. The Blood Bar! I will also say there were a lot less alcohol vendors than there were in the previous year. They do at the Blood Bar. Oh yeah. I'm okay. After, Sarah, if you want, you can ride the Tiger. So here's the map from this year's event. As you can see, we have 5 houses as they're marked by the big blood spots, and we also have a couple scare zones. Now this year we had 3 new houses. We had the Forgotten, Witch of the Woods, and Cell Block Z. So Cell Block Z replaced Insomnia, the Forgotten replaced the Black Spot, and the Witch of the Woods replaced Hotel Shelburne, or Motel Hell. It was like a hotel that was run down, and it had like Slender Man and the Boogeyman in it. And sadly, a lot of the times you can tell when a house is going to go, because if they keep using the same house year after year and the theme gets weaker and weaker, you know it's going to go within the next year or two. Busch Gardens, I think up since like 2013, has had this habit of putting their mascot on the map, which is cool and all, but if you don't see it enough or they don't explain it, it's hard to really understand. I want to say this is the Witch of the Woods, but I'm not entirely sure. One thing I do think they'd benefit from more is doing a little more marketing. Create teaser videos for the house. It could even just be like blank images or like a black background with text explaining what's going to happen. Get us excited for what you're going to give us each year, because a lot of these times we walk into it not knowing. Sometimes you got to piece it together. I don't know, just it wouldn't hurt to hype it up a little more so I know what I'm looking for, what to be afraid of. Hell, capitalize on Dr. Freakenstein from The Fiend Show. Have him start off a tour or have a news report. There's just so much they could do. There's so much more they could do, I should say. Enough ranting, let's get back to the park. Smells like Flint, Michigan over here. This one's called In the Shadows.
Picking up a distinct smell here.
This one's called In the Shadows, and you two stick out in the black light.
Oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, I know. Woo! Oh, there's that thing again. I remember
They're doing steel and wood.
that is the color of your logo.
It is.
That's how they make their money. That's what theme parks do. They rape you on prices. It's $4 for a Coke or a water.
Experience.
Witch of the Woods. Sick. Yeah, look, they got like people waiting around in the fog. Again, they got to do what it takes to keep everyone safe.
What was that thing they used to do then?
Glad they switched it up. It wasn't Blood Moon last time we were here. This was the first one you ever did and you freaked out. Scariest part's right here, the alligator. It's ibis season, actually. Neat. So in conclusion, is Howl-O-Scream worth it? Definitely. Would I pay full price at the gate? Hell no. Every summer they have a sale. I recommend if you want to go, maybe wait till next year, bag that summer sale in the end of July. I paid like $25 a ticket. I've been doing this event for over a decade, and I can tell you after trial, error, and research that Sundays or Thursdays are the best days to go. I always go on a Sunday, and I never wait more than 5 minutes at a time for a line. Is it comparable to Halloween Horror Nights? No. Halloween Horror Nights is way better, but this is still good. This is Walmart brand horror if that's what you're looking for. Now, at this event, they have front-of-the-line fear passes. If you're not going on a Friday or Saturday, you really shouldn't need them. Honestly, I did everything within 2.5 hours. It's all the scare zones, the shows, and the houses. Alright, well, that was my take on Howl-O-Scream 2021 for Tampa Bay Busch Gardens. Join me next week as I talk about the SeaWorld one in Orlando. Yes, they're doing a SeaWorld Howl-O-Scream, and it's all about mermaids. Well, folks, I've been your host, Bumps in the Night, and remember, dear viewers, you never know what goes bump in the night. Also, it'd be totally cool if you subscribe, but you don't really have to. It's okay.